Hello viewers from wherever you're watching us from. You're watching QTV, the Gambia's first private TV station, and we're broadcasting from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue. My name is Aliou Cisse, your host for this one-to-one interview here on QTV Gambia. Our guest today is Ambassador Sharon L. Nkrumah, who is the U.S. Ambassador to the Gambia. Ma, you arrived in the country in March of 2022. I mean, how will you describe your journey so far as ambassador in the country?
Aliou, thank you for inviting me. And I have to say it's been a wonderful journey. I've been here just over a year and a half, and I've had an opportunity to meet with and talk to Gambians from all sectors of life here, from the president and ministers and government to the community leaders and the people of Basse. So it's been wonderful. I try to get out of the embassy as much as I can and engage with civil society, entrepreneurs, women, and it's just been very enlightening. And it's helped us to really frame our strategy at the U.S. Embassy. So we are addressing the needs of the people of the Gambia. We, in 2021, had a small assistance program, and since then it's grown 25-fold. And our portfolio of assistance programs across many U.S. government agencies is equal to about $80 million. And I think that program will grow in the coming years as new U.S. government assistance comes on board. So I'm very, very proud of what we've been able to do at the U.S. Embassy and how we've engaged with the Gambian people.
And talking about how you engage the Gambian people, the most recent one, you embarked on an all-female tour. I mean, you call it Here for Our Well-Being. I mean, the first of its kind at the embassy. Tell us about this tour.
Yes. So we have a women's leadership group at the U.S. Embassy to empower the women of the embassy, because they are the backbone of the embassy, and they must know that the embassy itself is a safe space for them to lead and have a voice. And so with this very powerful group, they went with me on what we called a Here for Her Well-Being tour as part of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. The 14 of us, as well as some supportive male colleagues, went to the North Bank region, West Coast, and Lower River region, talking to women of various backgrounds. We met with Beekeepers Association of Women, farmers, women farmers, a healthcare worker, students at the secondary school level, as well as the University of the Gambia, and women local government leaders. So as I've always been, I was amazed at the women we met. And we had an opportunity to talk about tough issues and hear their challenges, as well as their solutions to some of those challenges. And we returned to the embassy well-informed and committed to supporting our sisters here in the Gambia.
Like you said, I mean, this tour has certainly given an understanding of what the ordinary Gambian woman goes through every day. But what was your impression with what you have seen?
My impression is that the Gambian women and young girls are smart, they're innovative, they're hardworking. And they are an incredible resource for this country. And I have to say, an underutilized resource. The Gambian woman has a lot to give to not only her family, but her community and the nation. It was John Kerry who said, as Secretary of State, that no nation can get ahead if it leaves half of its population behind. We know here in the Gambia, women or females represent 51% of the population. And if they don't have a fighting chance, as Hillary Clinton said, to really show what they can do, to be empowered, to contribute fully to the development of this country, then the Gambia won't see its full potential. So you empower women and you empower the Gambia.
Away from that, I mean, we have seen, I mean, when you talk about the U.S. government, when you talk about the U.S. Embassy, American Corner, I mean, it's an established name in this country. We've seen recently you presided over the moving of the American Corner on Kairaba Avenue to a new location in Fajara. I mean, what is the reason behind this move?
Introducing American culture and history and the people of America to the Gambian people. So we have a lot to be grateful for. But the U.S. government's relationship with the Gambia is growing, expanding. And so we needed a new space. And we found that space on 78 Atlantic Avenue in Fajara. And it's a beautiful, new, modern space. And space where students and Gambians of every persuasion can go and meet and study and read and research, network. We're going to have many programs there, and we hope that Gambians will partake in those programs and really utilize this beautiful new space.
Quite interesting. We will now get into the different sectors as far as the U.S. government's intervention in the Gambia is concerned. I mean, earlier on you mentioned, I mean, U.S. government's commitment to women and children. I mean, we have seen the U.S. government, I mean, come up with $28.5 million US. I mean, McGovern Do school, I mean, feeding program for Gambian schools. I mean, tell us more about this program.
So this is a U.S. Department of Agriculture program. It's called McGovern Do because it's named after two senators, former senators, George McGovern and Robert Do, who were committed to food security. And so this is a food security program that aims to reduce hunger and improve literacy in primary school children. We in the Gambia, with the support of an implementing partner, Catholic Relief Services, will bring in about 7,200 metric tons of food, such as rice, cowpeas, black beans, as well as cooking oils. And these are fortified grains and beans that will improve the nutrition of young children. This program will touch upon 57,000 children in 186 schools, providing good meals for them so they can focus on learning. A hungry child cannot focus on learning. This program will also work with parents. It will work with community leaders, farmers, because we also intend to locally source foods. But first, help farmers improve their yields through using best practices in production of foods. We will train food preparers, and we'll also train teachers in how to improve their skills in literacy. So it's a comprehensive program working very closely with the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, as well as the World Food Program. We are collaborating so that we're not duplicating efforts in any particular community. And I'm very, very proud of this program. In fact, I went to the warehouse not too long ago and saw the stacks from floor to ceiling in the WFP warehouse of bags of rice from the U.S. labeled, you know, U.S. rice, as well as the cowpeas and the fortified beans and cooking oil. So I'm very proud of our contribution, but I'm also proud of the fact that we're going to be working with local smallholder farmers so they can continue and sustain this program after it ends.
Let's look at now the exchange programs. I mean, we've seen over the years so many Gambians have benefited from the exchange programs facilitated by the U.S. Embassy here. I mean, tell us more about these programs and what does the U.S. seek to achieve or realize from them?
So we have several programs, and I think, Aliou, you went on one, the Foreign Press Center's Department of State's program. In addition to that, we have the International Visitor Leadership Program, we have the Mandela Fellowship, the Young African Leaders Program, Humphrey Fellowship, and the Fulbright Scholar. So there's several programs with the goal to identify the Gambia's best and brightest and give them an opportunity to travel and study in the U.S., to engage with counterparts in the U.S., as you did with journalists in the U.S., and but to come back here in the Gambia and apply their skills here, apply them here, and make the Gambia a better place for its citizens. So we're very proud of this program. It can be a life-changing experience. I think we have a couple of examples. We have Kemo Fati.
Kemo Fati, yeah.
Yes, who is an IVLP, who went to the U.S. and was able to engage in farming practices, agricultural practices, and climate change, and has come back and applied those skills. And he is creating green agriculture and creating jobs here. We also had in the journalist Khadija Bokum.
Yeah, Bokum.
Yes, who, as a Mandela Fellow, had an opportunity to interview the USAID administrator, Samantha Power, in front of an audience of 700 other Mandela Fellows and Washington colleagues. And she did a marvelous job. She made us proud and made Gambia proud.
Great.
So she's also returned and applying her skills and reaching out, continuing to reach out to her new network of journalists and other Africans in other areas. So
quite interesting and encouraging. I mean, seeing Gambians, attending these programs and coming back, impacting on the development of this country. Let's look at the health sector. I mean, quite important. I mean, we have the President's Malaria Initiative. I mean, take us through the vision, of course, the objective and core areas of focus for the Gambia.
So I am so pleased with this, that President Biden announced in April of this year that the Gambia is eligible to be a partner, in fact, with the President's Malaria Initiative. The Gambia has been recognized for its stellar performance in reducing malaria prevalence, and that's why it is now a partner in this program. The Gambia is among a few countries who's reduced malaria by 40% in the last few years. And so, so here in the Gambia, malaria is at the control state, which is wonderful, a huge achievement. We want to help the Gambia reach elimination, malaria elimination. And we think that's feasible. With an initial influx of $4 million, we believe that the U.S. government can work with other partners and the Ministry of Health to fully eliminate malaria here in this country, which would be an incredible feat that not many countries will have achieved. But we feel we can do that.
And we have had the Minister of Health, said in 2021 that the Gambia want to, achieve free malaria by 2025. So do you think this program will be able to contribute towards achieving that by 2025?
This program will make a huge, huge effort to eliminating malaria here. We will certainly try by 2025. The worldwide goal is 2030. But as I said, Gambia is ahead of other countries. So it's possible to do that by 2025.
I mean, let's now look at the Millennium Challenge Corporation. I mean, we know the Gambia is among the countries identified for this program. Take us through, I mean, why the Gambia? You know, we've seen the Gambia is identified for both the MCC threshold and, of course, the compact programs.
Yes. So the Gambia is recognized as an advocate for human rights internationally. The Gambia's transitional justice effort is considered a model internationally. The Gambia has moved from 22 years of authoritarian, brutal authoritarian rule, and in just 7 years made huge progress. I know to everyone in the Gambia it doesn't feel like huge progress, but I've worked in many countries over my 36 years working in development, and I can say the Gambia has made significant progress. You know, there's always concern about democratic backsliding, but I think the Gambia is blessed with a robust and vocal civil society and a robust media. And I think these entities are holding Gambia's leaders accountable. And I really do think the leadership is doing a lot to move the Gambia forward. So for those reasons, Washington has recognized the Gambia as a good democratic partner. We have common values in terms of democracy. And so for that reason, and the fact that the Gambia for 6 consecutive years has passed the MCC scorecard that looks at ruling justly, economic freedom, and investing in its people, the Gambia has not only passed it, but with each year increased its performance, enhanced its performance. So for that reason, President Biden, the board of the MCC, voted and said that the Gambia should be eligible for a compact, which we at the U.S. Embassy, of course, pushed for.
Yeah, I know.
And then President Biden, at a year ago in December, at the Africa Leaders Summit, announced that the Gambia was eligible, or is eligible, for a compact. What this means is that the MCC is now looking at 3 constraints to economic growth here in the Gambia. The first one was under what we call the threshold program, which was unreliable power, electricity. So our threshold program has identified that constraint, is working on reducing the power outages and making the delivery of electricity more efficient. Right now, they're building the framework for that. So the compact is looking at 2 additional constraints, one being the underutilization of the Gambia's huge resource, which is the Gambia River. And the second is addressing the needs of secondary school children, and for skills training and literacy, so that they can become more productive citizens in this country and be employable for the new jobs that are coming, I believe, in this country with the investments that are being made. So we're very pleased about the threshold program, which is underway now. The compact will take about 18 months to develop, because it's a very methodical process. It's not a quick fix. This will be transformational. This will mean hundreds of thousands of, or hundreds of millions, millions
of dollars
of investment in this country. And we want to make sure that it's transformational, that it results in jobs and trade up and down the Gambia River, and that Gambian young people have a chance to fill those jobs. And the people of the Gambia benefit from the economic growth that comes with that.
And in October, we had the MCC CEO in the country, Alice Bright, and which was preceded by the visit of Justin Sumal, the managing director for MCC for Africa. What does this visit symbolize, having these two prominent individuals of the MCC visiting the Gambia?
So, first let me say we've had 6 visits of MCC colleagues from Washington, trying to further understand these constraints that are under the compact, the Gambia River and education. And so Jason was here to work with the steering committee, the government steering committee, to make sure that they accepted these constraints. These were their constraints, the government's and the people of the Gambia's identified constraints that they want the MCC to work on. We don't do this in isolation. There's a lot of consultation that goes with this. So that was the first step. Then we've had technical people come to dig a little further to see if these constraints really will be transformational. And then the MCC CEO, Alice Albright, wanted to come and see for herself, because she's got to meet the board. In fact, they just met a day or so ago, and she's got to defend the investment that MCC will make. And so she came here. She had a wonderful trip, an incredible welcome at the airport by, half the cabinet, I think, all the members of the steering committee. She met with the vice president, toured the Port of Banjul with him and the Minister of Transportation, Works and Infrastructure. She went on a boat trip up the Gambia River to understand how this river, an investment in this river could improve trade and ecotourism. And we had a number of ministers go with us. She visited Lamine Lodge, talked to women's groups, went to a school, St. Peter's School, and had an opportunity to look at skills training at that school.
Let's now move to the USAID, which is
Yes.
also investing a lot in this country. Take us through, the various interventions of the USAID in the country and the impact it is having on the country.
Well, let me first say that when I arrived here in the Gambia as the U.S. ambassador, the question I got all the time was, when is USAID returning to the Gambia? And I'm proud to say USAID has returned. We have a $7.9 million promoting rights and justice program that works to reform the justice sector. They're doing a lot of training of not just the judges, but also the justice sector staff, as well as the Ministry of Justice staff on ethics, on case management. They're putting in place a case management system. And they're also training civil society organizations in human rights, advocacy, and project management, a whole range of training, as well as the media. They've done a lot of media training and training with the National Assembly. So this is an effort to really stimulate and strengthen the justice sector, which is an important component of governance.
You also have a new USAID program
Yes.
manager. What does this development mean for the Gambia?
It means that we have someone here on the ground. She went with us on the Here for Her Well-Being trip. She listen to the challenges that women face. And she's able to go back to our regional office in Dakar and speak to them about what she's seen and what she's heard and what possibly USAID can do more here.
I know.
I just wanted to say she's also leading the Malaria initiative, the assessment that needs to be done, and all the work that will need to be done to build up that program.
And I understand the US government is also giving out grants to individuals, of course, organizations, including the media. But just summarize, these grants and how much are we talking about here? I know we're running out of time, but just in summary.
We're talking about grants that range in the Ambassador Self-Help Program from $6,000 to $24,000, and these grants go to entrepreneurs, to farmers, to women's organizations, and they transform those organizations and the communities that they serve. We have many other grant programs, and we have programs that help artists. We have a wonderful program that helps filmmakers and producers of films to build up the Gambian film industry. I think that's a wonderful idea. And other artists benefit from some of our grants. Dancers and an art gallery that we've promoted here. So it's a full range of grants.
It's quite interesting. Time is up, but just finally, Honorable Ambassador, in just 30 seconds, the U.S. Treasury Department officials were in the country, to support, the Gambia in terms of debt management and budget formulation. Could you just summarize, this and what other supports is the Treasury Department giving to the Gambia? So
yes, we have the U.S. Department of Treasury. It has 2 embedded advisors in the Ministry of Finance, one working on debt management, the other on budget development, and they're doing a marvelous job. They have the full support of the Minister of Finance. Let me just say that I think Gambia's future is bright, and the U.S. and Gambian partnership is growing stronger every single day. We are working as a whole of government, whole of U.S. government, with the Department of Treasury, the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Defense, USAID, State Department, MCC, on improving economic growth, strengthening democracy and governance, and investing in the Gambian people to improve their lives.
Thank you so much, Madam Ambassador. It was good to have you on this program on One-to-One. Well, viewers, with that, we bring an end to this this week interview One-to-One. Our guest is the Sharon L. Kuruma, who is the U.S. Ambassador to the Gambia. It was good to have you on the program. And viewers, with that, we bring an end to this program. Do join us next time. Until then, bye-bye from me, Alu Sise, and the entire production team. Ciao.